When I first arrived in China, I was surrounded by massive skyscrapers as far as the eye could see. Building after building stretched on for mile after mile. I had read about China's massive growth in the past few decades, but to be in China, in person, really brought it home. This image, taken in Shanghai in 1987, when the city's population was just 11 million, shows the Pudong district. Pudong is a district that is located east of the Hongpao River. This picture, taken in 2013, of the same Pudong district in Shanghai, shows just how far China has come in only 26 years. It's almost unrecognizable from the first picture in 1987. Everywhere I looked, there seemed to be a skyscraper or an enormous building. We visited the Shanghai Urban Planning Exhibition Center, which is adjacent to the municipal government building. It is a 6-story building that displays Shanghai's urban planning and development. Inside is a large-scale model of the entirety of urban Shanghai, showing existing buildings and improved future buildings. And while I enjoyed seeing massive buildings everywhere, the thing that I found the most fascinating in regards to the architecture in China was the imperial architecture design and the way that roofs are constructed. Growing up, I have always been interested in Chinese culture. The closest I was able to get was by watching films, such as The Last Emperor, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and my personal favorite, The Curse of the Golden Flower. The Curse of the Golden Flower has epic scenes showing the imperial palace that left me in awe. Beijing, earlier known as Peking, was founded by Zhou around 700 BC. Kublai Khan made it the capital of his Khan Baek Empire from 1264 to 1267. The Ming emperors made it their capital in 1421, and it remained China's capital until 1912, when the Manchu Empire fell. In 1949, the communists captured the city and made it their capital, which it has remained to this day. Beijing was to be a city of districts within districts. Approximately 12 square miles in area, the inner city was a rectangular area enclosed by walls standing 40 feet high. At its center, covering only 2 square miles and surrounded by another wall, was the imperial city, a district comprising the homes of the emperor's relatives, the offices of the imperial bureaucracy, 2 temples, and a spacious pleasure park decorated with artificial lakes. At the heart of the imperial city, surrounded by a moat and a third set of walls, lay the Forbidden City itself. One of the first things I noticed about the Forbidden City were the bright colors. The majority of the walls are painted red. The color red, which the Chinese associate with power, happiness, wealth, and honor, is ubiquitous in the Forbidden City. High walls were washed with red clay from the Shandong province, which was also used to fix roofing tiles in place, and red can be seen prominently on gates, doors, window frames, exterior timbers, and interior columns. Such was the Ming's fondness for red that all reports to the emperor had to be written on red paper, while later Qing rulers insisted that any written orders from the emperor were to be recorded in red ink. While in China, we visited the Propaganda Poster Art Center. I couldn't help but notice that the color red was featured throughout the Mao-era propaganda posters. The red of the propaganda posters symbolizes revolution. But I still find it fascinating that red was being used by the China rulers, even after the imperial times. The other color that is prominent and I found very fascinating at the Forbidden City was the color yellow. The ancient Chinese viewed yellow as the color of earth, producer of all life, which they considered to be the single most critical element. Thus, yellow was held in particular esteem and reserved for the exclusive use of the emperor. Its prominence in the Forbidden City was meant to illustrate that the emperor, as the Son of Heaven, had a special connection with the earth that legitimized his rule. In fact, Ming law stipulated that yellow could only be used for imperial palaces, tombs, and temples, and it became a custom for emperors to wear yellow robes with an embroidered dragon. Yellow glazed roof tiles, much favored by the Ming Dynasty, feature prominently on great halls and buildings throughout the Forbidden City, and serve as an indication that the emperor would have had business within these structures. The roofs of the Forbidden City deserve special attention. Originally, the roofs were made mostly of wood, and to prevent the tiles from sliding, wooden nails were used. However, without lightning rods, the palace roof would easily catch fire. Therefore, some alchemists suggested that symbols of the fishtail star could be installed on the roof to prevent fire. Later, these symbols were replaced by glazed tiles which were shaped like lucky animals, some of these imaginary. On the roof of the Hall of Supreme Harmony, there is an immortal riding a phoenix, followed by a dragon, another phoenix, a lion, a heavenly steed, a seahorse, a Siani, a Yayu, a Jiju, a Dianyu, and a Hangshi. This was actually the fixed pattern for the order of the animals. These animals, or mythical beasts, are set to pounce upon the man and devour him should he stray from performing his duties with faithfulness and rectitude. Significantly, the number of animals on the roof shows the seniority of the building, which in turn referred to the seniority of the owner. The greater the number, the higher the position. As we know, the Hall of Supreme Harmony was the throne hall, so it had the most animals on the roof. No other buildings in the country should have more animals on the roof. The other buildings in the Forbidden City are less important, therefore, the number of small animals on the roof are reduced. The reduction would always start from the rear, first Hangshi, then Dianyu, and so on. With the fall of the empire in 1911, such decorations are now seen on commercial structures and tourist boats. While the architecture and beauty of the Forbidden City in China in general was diverting, these grand splendors would not exist if not for the Chinese people themselves. For over 2,000 years, China has been home to ingenuity, wisdom, and power. And what I'll remember most about China is not the structures and buildings, but the people I met and the memories I created.